Did I lie to you? 6 months ago, I made a video talking about how Skyrim was about to get a new update and DLC. This likely being paid mods returning to Skyrim. But here we are 6 months later and nothing. Well, no, I did not in fact lie to you, and I think we may just be closer than ever before for this surprise update and DLC to be dropping for Skyrim. Just this week, we got some new evidence that something is coming very, very soon. And one of the crazy new revelations about this all is this might not just be an update for Skyrim, but applying to other Bethesda games as well. But let me guess, your dad has a giant wallet that looks something like this? Well, today we're going to fix that, thanks to today's video sponsor, Ridge. Big wallets are a big problem, especially for dads. But with Father's Day fast approaching, Ridge is hosting one of their biggest sales of the year, where you can pick up the much more compact and slim Ridge wallet. And don't worry, it still fits 12 cards and cash and comes in over 30 colors, so all of the dads out there will have something they like. But let's save your dad's front pockets too with the Ridge key case. The key case will save you tons of room. It was an absolute game changer for me with these giant Jeep keys, as well as it'll prevent things like key jingling. And if you do pick up a key case with a Ridge wallet, you can save up to 30% by ordering together. But if by now you're still somehow not convinced, just remember Ridge has got you covered. They offer a 99-day refund window, and each Ridge wallet comes with a lifetime warranty, which I'm sure your dad's gonna love. So get in on the sale today using my link at ridge.com/JuiceHead and save up to 40% through June 15th. That's ridge.com/JuiceHead. So even though the first time I really properly talked about a new update or DLC coming to Skyrim was at the end of 2022, like literally the last days of 2022, I originally heard rumors about a Creation Club returning over a year ago now, in the first half of 2022. One of the factors in this was that in many recent interviews, Todd Howard has been talking about additional ways for modders to make a living.
Hired a large number of modders that are now professionals. We want to support the people who are doing on their own so they can be professionals on their own. We're always looking at ways that we can make it like, hey, they can turn a career into it, because it's just awesome.
And I felt like he was alluding to some opportunities coming for them in the future. So that was interesting enough. It definitely made me go, huh, it sounds like he's talking about something specific there, not just a high level, oh, we hope to create opportunities for them. When things really started to heat up was when a former Creation Club member posted on their Patreon that Creation Club was actually coming back in a new form. But this member described how they're under NDA and would be producing more content for this new Creation Club 2 soon, specifically saying how we would likely be seeing it in the near future. This happened around the midway point of 2022, so still quite a ways before I actually made my video covering this, with the real major reveal coming in late 2022 with the addition of a new SteamDB depot for Skyrim Special Edition that had the description of Marketplace. SteamDB just tracks changes made to things listed on Steam, so this basically meant that Bethesda themselves added something new to Skyrim, and they manually put in the description of Marketplace, which, taking that together with the rest of the evidence, it made it seem pretty clear to me Bethesda and Microsoft were going to be adding in a new Marketplace feature to Skyrim Special Edition. This likely based off the wildly successful Minecraft Marketplace, where modders can apply to join and in turn list their mods for sale. And as their mods sold, they would actually collect a commission, and a lot of modders in Minecraft are making a lot of money off of this. But of course, along the way, Microsoft and Mojang are also taking their own cut of those commission sales. This type of marketplace would be quite a bit different to Creation Club, where mod authors were actually paid up front, and Bethesda was heavily involved in curating what things came to Creation Club. But if something like this was coming back to Skyrim, we would really be getting, one, a new update to add in the feature, which would probably break all of your mods, but also a steady flow of fan-made DLCs. And considering money was involved and this was commission-based, so if people aren't interested, the mod authors won't make as much money, these definitely had the potential to be higher quality, more DLC-like for Skyrim. And even since all of that original reporting, there are definitely a few more clues that this is definitely happening. We saw Skyrim get this random update late in 2022 where you can now view all of your installed mods and Creation Club content in-game. It wasn't really clear why this was added to an 11-year-old game, but if you consider that people might be purchasing a bunch of new content in the not-so-distant future and they'd want to see what they currently have installed as far as that content goes, yeah, then it does actually make a lot more sense. Earlier this month, Bethesda announced that they're going to be updating all of their mod-making wikis, this on creationkit.com. On one hand, this is just an awesome move by them. A lot of these wikis were incredibly out of date, making getting into modding very difficult. I think a lot of people just used fan-made tutorials rather than the official ones from Bethesda. But though this could be unrelated, at the same time, if they're planning to have a bunch of people start making mods for money, it would make sense to have even better documentation on how to make those mods mods. Skyrim also released on a bunch of additional storefronts finally, and perhaps most interesting of all, we see that Starfield will feature some type of in-game transaction also, this being according to the recent ESRB rating for Starfield. So yeah, maybe this marketplace isn't just coming to Skyrim, but more games than that, although we'll talk more about that in a moment. Alright, so all of that happens, we have all these clues, and then 6 months go by. There's a bunch of evidence that something is probably coming. Why am I making a video on this now? Well, over those 6 months, we've been seeing a ton of activity on SteamDB for Skyrim, and especially as of late. As of right now, Skyrim is getting near daily updates on SteamDB. That basically means Bethesda uploaded this new build of Skyrim onto Steam, and on a near daily basis for over a month now, things are being changed with that regularly. And now, on one hand, this isn't all that crazy. There's tons of games that are getting daily updates on Steam. Why is this a standout for Skyrim? Well, it's of course the fact that it's an 11.5-year-old game that doesn't actually have any planned updates, or at least nothing officially has been announced. So why for months now has Bethesda been editing things on a daily basis? Something big is clearly going on. So on one hand, even if you don't necessarily believe in this paid mod theory, something definitely is happening. That's undeniable. Since mid-November, Skyrim has been getting weekly updates on SteamDB, and over the past couple of months, that has turned into daily updates. We now find ourselves just a few weeks away from the Xbox and Bethesda Summer Showcase, and to me, that seems like the most obvious timing for this to release to the world. But at least, maybe. Although on one hand, there definitely has been speculation that Bethesda shadow drops this after the showcase, what I actually think could be more likely is exactly what they did with Creation Club. If we are really getting a paid mod marketplace, they probably want a bunch of creators to sign up. They give us a preview and a trailer at the showcase and open up applications for a launch later this summer, likely at some point in July or August. And I think at that point, we would officially see a return of paid mods to Skyrim. And Skyrim getting an update at all is actually a pretty big deal. Anniversary Edition created a huge divide in the modding scene with Skyrim. Certain mods took many months to get properly updated, and some people even still play on the old pre-Anniversary Edition of Skyrim. Even I myself maintain an old build, as certain mods out there only support the old version. I could definitely see this happening again with a big new update like this, featuring a major new feature coming to the game. So with that in mind, make sure you disable auto update and actually protect your mods so they don't all break if Skyrim does get a surprise update. And one of the other interesting components of this is Fallout 4 has also been getting near daily updates on SteamDB. There really hasn't been any rumors of a marketplace coming to Fallout 4, but we have seen multiple new builds uploaded for that game. One depot was named New Vegas 2, which was deleted a day after. This could be related or just the ultimate troll job by Bethesda. And although we certainly could see marketplace extending to Fallout 4 also, one thing we do know is that Fallout 4 is planned to get a next-gen update in 2023, so it's really impossible to tell if this is just the next-gen update being worked on or actual marketplace being worked on. Although hypothetically, it could be both. We really wouldn't know. But then there's also Starfield. When I first heard the rumors of paid mods returning to Skyrim all the way back in early 2022, considering how old Skyrim was, it just seemed odd to do this unless it was a prototype to add it later to their other games like Starfield. What if Marketplace isn't a one-off? What if Marketplace or paid mods in general are part of the long-term plans for Bethesda games? Todd Howard keeps describing how these games are being designed to be played forever, especially with Starfield. They know people are going to play this for a very long time. Starfield will come out, we'll likely get some DLC for it, but there's going to come a point where Bethesda moves on to the Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5, and we'll probably have a situation where it's a decade or longer in between Starfields, if a Starfield 2 comes at all. So from Bethesda's point of view, what would be better to fill that gap than a bunch of modders flooding the market with fan-made add-ons for Starfield, and Bethesda's going to get a cut of every single one that gets sold. To me, this honestly makes a ton of sense from Bethesda's perspective. And then of course, with all of this in mind, when all of a sudden a couple of weeks ago, Starfield becomes the first AAA Bethesda Game Studios game other than Fallout 76 to have in-game purchases listed on their ESRB rating, you can pretty easily connect those dots, at least I could. These in-game purchases could be a variety of things, but that would certainly be quite the coincidence for paid mod rumors to be popping up for Skyrim, and then right around that same time, Starfield is confirmed to have in-game purchases. I imagine throughout all of this, many of you have strong opinions one way or another on a paid mods-like feature. After all, Bethesda has already attempted this 2 other times, and if they really do use Minecraft Marketplace as a model, there is an interesting situation where we could genuinely see higher quality mods come out of the Skyrim version of the marketplace. Most people don't make that much money modding Bethesda games. We just saw a post from the head of Nexus Mods. which describes how there are some people making a living off modding thanks to donation points. This is this Nexus Mods point system they introduced a few years ago now. It's a pool of points distributed to mod authors based on downloads each month, and you could even contribute to this overall pool yourself via Patreon if you want to actually give back to modders on a wider scale. Although, even despite me shouting this out numerous times since release, the community only contributes less than 1% of the overall total, with Nexus themselves really doing the heavy lifting here. But even with some of these wild numbers, with how much money Nexus is putting into this pool, we hear from Dark One how over 24 mod authors made over $1,000 in a month, and quite a few made less than that. And although some people are able to live off that, depending on which country they live in, many Americans cannot. And looking back at that original post from a Creation Club author, they explicitly say in that while Creation Club was around and they were getting checks from that, they were even able to work less at their main job and focus a lot more on modding. So what if some of these payouts could increase? What if some of the most talented modders out there could actually do this full time? And Bethesda start implementing this marketplace feature into all of their future games to give mod authors that opportunity. On the Minecraft side, this has been wildly successful. There are entire groups creating mods full time, and there are hundreds of millions of dollars being spent on this marketplace. You could definitely see how this could be a huge benefit to the Skyrim modding community, although there's definitely that interesting dichotomy. It seems likely that script extender mods, which are honestly some of the most impressive mods for Skyrim, would not actually be compatible because, of course, you need script extender, a third-party tool. It's doubtful Bethesda would allow mods like that onto a marketplace where a lot of users could not download that tool and run into a ton of difficulties as a result. So do those mod authors, some of the most impressive out there, just kind of get cut out of this whole situation? And even further, I have to wonder how popular something like this actually gets for Skyrim. I could see it doing massive numbers if it really did come to Starfield, but Skyrim's getting pretty old now. Although it's still incredibly active in the modding scene, is there that much interest in paid mods at this point? Either way, something is definitely happening, and I imagine we're going to be learning more about this all soon. If you want a full breakdown of what you could expect from Bethesda Showcase though, make sure to check out this video where I give that.